Do you often find yourself in situations with family members, friends, coworkers that often bring you down, make you feel bad about yourself, and even feel disrespected at times? The problem may be because of the boundaries that you set with others. So in today's video, I would like to show you how to set healthy boundaries with others without telling others. I'm Minerva. I'm your certified life and spiritual coach. And what I do is I make spirituality practical to help you live heaven on earth. So today, I would like to talk to you about boundaries. The reason that there may be a problem in your life is because of the boundaries that you set. So maybe you are saying, I have set these boundaries. So maybe one of two things could be happening. These boundaries that you set are too rigid, too closed in, and also made out of fear, and also too closed in where it's blocking not only the bad, but also blocking the good in your life. Another thing that could be happening is that there's no boundaries, or the boundaries are too widespread that it's often leaving you feeling taken advantage of, stretched too thin. It's hard to say no to others, and maybe hard to voice yourself, and you're just always left feeling drained and taken advantage of. So either these boundaries are too closed in or they're too far out. So we want to bring them in to a healthy level that is serving you and also everyone else around you. So here are 3 things you can start doing. So step 1 is you have to be clear and set these boundaries. Often we say, well, I don't like how this person spoke to me. I don't like what this person did to me, but we're not being clear exactly what it is we want to be happening. So we need to be clear about what these boundaries are. So for example, maybe it's being clear that, you know what, from now on, when I meet with my friends, I'm only engaging in positive, high vibrating, fueling conversations. So that is being clear about it versus focusing on what you don't want. You want to start focusing on what it is that you do want. So being very clear about those boundaries that you want to set. Being clear about what it is you want to experience. So step number 2 would be you want to start setting that energetically. So this is some internal work you have to do, and this has nothing to do with the other person or persons. So this is setting it energetically and mentally. So if, for example, we're going to use the example of saying you're not going to engage in any low, negative, draining conversations, just only high vibrating, positive, supportive conversations. And just say this with your friends. So now you want to go into that place once you've set that boundary, whatever that is, and you want to go in that place internally. And I want you to close your eyes and now connect with that boundary that you set. And how does that feel in alignment to you? Does it feel like it's out there? Is it too expanded? Or does it feel like it's close to your body? You want to set a boundary that is about 3 feet from you. That's a healthy boundary. And you want to connect to that feeling of what that boundary means to you. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And I want it to be filled with positive, high vibrating energies, emotions that feel good, that feel healthy to you. And maybe you're going to envision this bubble around you. And within that bubble, only the highest and best feelings are boiling up, are erupting, are filling that space, that boundary around you. And in that, I would like you to see the lowest vibration bouncing off of that bubble around you. So being very clear energetically what that feels like to engage in positive, high vibrating, supportive conversations with friends or with family, whoever that person is, it gets even clearer when you bring in that person's energy. So seeing yourself show up to the situation, to the conversation in the highest and best version of you, by you stepping into that boundary energetically. So seeing yourself, how you're going to show up, and also practicing with the energy of the other person. Again, you don't need the other person there. You just show up the way you want to show up internally. And then you also feel their energy, if you like, outside of that. Okay. So that any of their words, any of their actions is just going to bounce right off of you. Okay. Step number 3 is to then, once you have set the boundary in your mind, then you have set the boundary energetically, internally, Then number 3, what you're going to do is now you got to go out and do. You have to set that boundary physically. So in real life, in reality, in that situation, what will you do to disengage from that disengage from that low vibrating, that situation, that conversation, from that behavior? So you need to have like an exit plan. So either one of 2 things you can do is, or one of 3 things is, you can, number 1, if you are engaging in that conversation, you want to find a neutralizing word. And a neutralizing word I often use is interesting, right? Interesting. So it doesn't say it's good, doesn't say it's bad, it neutralizes it. And by saying interesting, you're not engaging in that other person's thoughts, beliefs, their feelings, their experience, and nor are you letting it come into your boundaries. You're just keeping it out there and keeping it neutral. So having a neutral word, interesting could be the word. Number 2 is, you also, if you are facing that situation, you need to choose to get up and leave. And you can do that in a polite way. You can do that quietly. You just don't engage in that. And you just don't speak back, because it's just not worth, because you know what you are going to engage in. Only high, positive, supportive conversations, one that fuels you versus drains you. And the third thing is, you just choose not to be around that person, or choose to be in that put yourself in that situation. You have a choice. And that's what step 3 is about, is what are you going to do physically to action it, to make a decision to set those boundaries, to follow through with those boundaries that you have set. So I hope that makes sense to you. Step 1 is be clear in your own mind, set those boundaries, be clear what that looks like, what that means to you. Maybe it's, again, only engaging in positive, high vibrating conversations, being around positive, high vibrating people, and, being open to people who are loving, who are supportive, who are kind. And step 2 is to then set that energetically. What would that feel like? You need to embody that. You need to see that within your boundary, within your space. And if your boundaries were too tight and saying, I'm not going to let any bad guys in and I want only good guys to come in, you need to be very clear about releasing the fear around that and show up with that energy of what it would feel like when a good guy does come in, or whatever relationship it is that you want to attract into your life, with whether it's with friends, family, or a romantic partner. And then step 3 is that you need to follow through and take action. And all of these steps have nothing to do with the other person and all to do with you. And I promise you, when you practice them, when you set them, you will see a shift, because everything is matching your energy in your mind, in your emotions, and your actions. Everything is matching where you meet and setting and matching your standard and setting your boundaries. You just want to make sure you're setting the healthiest and the highest boundaries that serve you and all involved. Okay? I hope that helped you. If you like this, feel free to comment and also let me know how this has worked for you, if this resonates with you. And continue following and subscribe to my YouTube page for more guidance and also guided meditations to support you on your journey. And for a limited time only, I wanted to also offer you a free clarity call. It's a 30-minute call where we get to know each other and we can pull out some of your blocks, give you some tools of how we can move through those blocks, and to also explore if coaching is the right fit for you. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to leave the link below and you can choose a time in the calendar that works for you. I hope this served you. Love and light.